Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Killer Heat, and this is a new neo-noir from director Philippe Lecote, based off of the Joe Nesbo novel, The Jealousy Man, or short story, who wrote like the Snowman, which also became a horrible, horrible film. This one's pretty bad too, and it's unfortunate as this story tells of a private investigator played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt who's in Greece investigating the death of this one of the twin sons of this very powerful family on this Greek island. Shailene Woodley is the wife of the deceased who winds up hiring him, and Richard Madden plays these two twins. And this film feels like it's trying so hard to be a classic noir, and even like it does the classic noir voiceover. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I think, is doing a fine job saying it, but the dialogue for this there's one moment where Shailene Woodley's giving us exposition, and then you have Joseph Gordon-Levitt being like, and then she told me this and that, as she's just told us that. It's just like, who wrote this? There's moments where it's so obnoxious and annoying that you're just like, this is really hard to sit through at moments. And pacing wise, I feel like Lecote misses a lot of elements, especially towards the middle, of trying to drive this story forward, because there's moments where it just screeches to a halt. It feels like it's in a holding pattern, and it leans so heavily into so many tropes and cliches for like the first 2/3 of the film, and then it gets into like revealing what happened. And there's a couple of big twists that I feel like should have hit a lot harder than they did, but they didn't. And I feel like a lot of there's such a lack of energy getting up to that point where you're just kind of like lethargically going along with this film, and by the end, you're like, did I really care that much about what happened during this film? And it just feels hollow. So much of this film feels hollow, and it's dealing with some heavy themes, and in some interesting ways it connects Levitt's character and his experiences to this victim and to Woodley's character. And there should be more of an emotional impact there, but this film feels so much at a distance. And especially as it comes to a pretty big emotional climax at the very end of the film in terms of reshaping this whole story, you just sit there feeling hollow. Like, I feel like I should be feeling so heavily for these characters, but this film never allowed me to connect with them. It feels so cold and disconnected, and there's not like a fire or a passion or anything about it. I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt does a fine job with his character. I don't think he gets a ton to work with. I think Woodley gets bogged down a lot with a lot of exposition, and, I think her and Levitt are really trying to sell towards the end of this film some of the big emotional elements. The more I see Richard Madden in things, I'm starting to realize like he is very hit or miss, and I feel like this is a big miss. I don't feel like I was very much engaged in either of his performances as these two brothers. And everything else, like Abby Lee's like fleetingly popping in and out in terms of flashbacks and stuff like that. This just feels like somebody's like, let's make a cool noir, and just realize like, well, if you do this, and this, it'll be a great film. It's like, no, those are just elements of noirs. There's things that you have to do to make this kind of setup really work. And this film really feels like it doesn't hit the essential elements to make this an engaging and interesting and dynamic and emotional mystery. It's just, oh, cool, they're doing voiceover. It's like a noir. Oh, she's like a femme fatale. It's like they're doing a noir. And in the end, this was a pretty boring and unengaging experience that'll leave you feeling pretty empty by the end, unfortunately. Well, and it's there on Amazon Prime, so if you're really into noirs and you want to give it a try, it's right there. But those are my thoughts on Killer Heat. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.